Okay, full body movement to improve most of our skeleton. So we're going to include the foot, the knee, the pelvis, the spine, the rib cage, the shoulders and the head. So you're going to start by letting your knee come up and down. So just let it float up, no effort, not pulling it up, just let it come up to as far as it feels like it naturally stops and then come back down again. Notice how if I just lift the knee in a completely unconscious way, the knee just wants to drift inwards, which is perfectly fine. I don't really want to see the knee doing this or this. So if we can let it come up and drift in, that's great. Then as you lift the knee, I want you to bend, let the ankle bend at the front and down. So you're bending the ankle, let the knee come up and down. Then what I want you to do is lift the knee, flex the foot, and then turn your lower leg out and then down. Knee, foot, lower leg, and down. Okay, so then we're going to bring in the pelvis. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by hiking the hip, so push up the toe, push off from the toes, let the knee float up, foot, shin, down. Start with a hip hike, try and go up nice and high, push through your toes, let the knee travel up, foot, shin, out. Okay, now we're going to bring in a bit more spine and rib cage. So if you put your hand on the outside of your waist, and what I want you to feel is when you push your hip up with your foot, you should feel a nice contraction here on the sort of muscles on the core here on the side. You should feel them go tight. And you want to keep them tight here. Shift your weight across into your left leg. Keep that height position. Let that knee come up, foot flex, turn the shin out and down. Push up the hip. Get a nice contraction through the core. Side bending my rib cage towards the height hip. So the rib on the right has gone down to meet the pelvis. Let the shin come up, knee come up, shin out, foot up. Okay, now we're going to bring in the shoulders. So if you want to put your hands on the shoulders, you're going to go up, hip hike. Now drive the left shoulder up to the ceiling, right shoulder down. Now I've got a nice big side bend on my spine to the right. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep the head upright. Don't let it go with the spine. Here, contract through your abs, nice height hip. Once you're into that position, let your weight go into your left leg. Let that knee come up, bring the foot up, turn the shin out, and then back down. So we're going to be here, 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 and we're going to almost, if you want, you can kind of crouch into it as long as that head stays on top of the body, okay? And then it will be exactly the same for the other side. Start with the knee bend, just nice and gentle. Just let the knee drift up. Where does it go? Do you find that easy to do? Is it comfortable to do? Bit of thunder outside. Knee up, shin, foot. Let the knee float up, turn the shin out, let the foot come up to the side and down. Then you're going to start to push through the foot, hike this hip nice and high, let the knee come up, shin out, foot out, and there. Up, nice and tight through the abs now, feel your hand on your waist, hiked hip, dropped hip, knee up, shin, foot. Then we're going to bring the shoulders in. Nice and high with the right shoulder, let the left one drop. See how much spinal movement you can get in this position. Keep the head upright, eyes on the horizon. I've got a nice contraction here through my core, sort of crunching into it. And then I'm just going to let that knee drift up, turn the shin out and the foot. And I'm almost going to kind of contract into it there. Really make this work, make this hip high and turn that shin out there. And then just have a feel. What does that feel like now? So before you start the movement, have a really good sense of like where your pressures are in your feet. Notice if your weight is at the back. Is it forward in your feet? Is it outside of the feet? Is it inside of the feet? Do you have any bunions? Do you have any toes that are gripping? And notice after the movement, what does that feel like now? What do your legs feel like? What do your shoulders feel like? What does the spine feel like? Does everything feel a little bit easier to move? Can I now move my head a little bit easier? Can I now hike my hip a little bit easier just in standing? So if you test all of that sort of movement beforehand, do that drill and then go back to these movements and see, do they feel better? Can I keep my upper body still? Can I rotate my pelvis independent of the upper body? Can I move through my ankles, keeping my feet down? Can I feel them turn left and right? And observe where you are in space. Does something feel rotated? Is something feeling uncomfortable? And if it is, try that movement, find out which bit feels difficult, especially if it's different on the left and the right. See if you can really focus and maybe look in the mirror and notice which bits you're struggling with, and then keep doing the movement and see if it becomes easier.